Tonight we're hearing from a former FBI profiler who says the blood tells the story in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie vanished nearly 3 months ago, but her disappearance remains a chilling mystery. Investigators have found few clues that we know of. Among them, these grainy images of a masked man on her porch the night she disappeared. And then, of course, there's the blood spatter on her doorstep, which DNA testing confirmed belonged to the 84-year-old grandmother. But while these clues may seem limited, my next guest says these images provide a treasure trove of information on Guthrie and what happened to her that night. Retired Special Agent Jim Clemente has drilled down on these pictures frame by frame. And to try and fill in the blanks on this baffling mystery, he joins me now to share what he found. Jim, great to see you. We should say you were an FBI profiler. Yes. It was your job on tough, cold cases to come in and reverse engineer, try and figure out who they should be looking for.
Yes.
Let's first take a look at the blood images. The first one is this image. It's a wide shot of the blood spatter on the doorstep. What does that tell you when you look at it?
Well, it tells a story of a snapshot of time. There's low velocity blood spatter, there's medium velocity blood spatter, and then there's on the right-hand side you see a blood smear. That means somebody impacted that blood after it hit the floor.
Stepped on it.
Stepped on it, rubbed an arm or a hand through it, something like that.
What do the blood drops tell you?
Well, the bigger droplets tell us that because there's no directionality, that they were dropped almost directly from above. But the smaller droplets tell a different story.
Which is what?
Well, they're actually medium velocity blood droplets, which means that they were coughed out. They were aspirated and then coughed out. And I know that because some of these blood droplets, you can see they're sort of rings rather than the whole solid droplet. And that meant that they hit the ground as a bubble. They had air in them. And that can only happen when somebody coughs or sneezes out blood.
So what does all that tell you? We know this blood is Nancy's. What does that, studying that blood, what does that tell you about what was happening to her at that moment?
It tells me that her face was within a foot, probably several inches above the ground, almost directly above that first upper left blood stain. And it tells me that this is probably where she made her last stand, where she fought her abductor.
She was 84 and could barely walk.
I understand, but this is probably where she gave them the initiative to hit her in the face. She started bleeding. It went down her throat. She coughed it up as she went down to the ground here. This tells me that was most likely only one offender, because 2 offenders would have had control of her completely, and she would never have made her way down to the ground so close to be able to make that blood spatter, that medium velocity blood spatter.
How could one person do this? How could, I mean, she was 84, she could barely walk. She wasn't tiny. I mean, you know, carrying another human being, no matter what size they are,
I don't believe he was carrying her until after this point. At this point, she was ambulatory, and I believe she was punched. She was injured. She went down to her knees, and her face was very close to the ground when she coughed up this blood. And after that, he picked her up and carried her away. Getting her to that point, he had a gun, and a very visible gun, when he was on his way in. He used that gun to control her, but at this point, she fought back.
All right, so you're using your FBI profiler skills to really study everything you have, and which isn't much we have in the public sphere. But what, using your skills as a profiler, is the story to you on who this person is who took her?
Well, if 2 of the ransom notes were real, then part of the motivation was money. But I believe that there may have been a second motivation, and that is probably to hurt Savannah Guthrie by taking her mother, by depriving her of that. And that could have been based on some interaction that this offender had with the mother or with Savannah in the past. Could have been weeks or months or years ago. It could also have been just a delusion in his own mind. And he could have built up an anger and a resentment against her. And as a result, he felt justified in taking the mother to hurt her.
So I'm hearing you say he. You think it was a man. You think it was a man who was acting alone. And you think it was a man who had some sort of obsession with Savannah.
I think that's the highest probability.
Watched her on TV every morning and, you know, became obsessed somehow.
And he may have had some delusion going on in his brain and that nobody else knew about, or that he maybe spoke to some people about. And that's how we might be able to catch him, because at some point, somebody out there will recognize that this guy always talked about her, or said he was going to come into some money, or right as this happened, as the images were released, he left town because he had an emergency.
Super quick, Jim. Do you think, given, I know these are all your theories as a but you are a profiler and this is your expertise, was she alive for any portion of the time she was missing?
Well, she was certainly alive up until that point where she fell in her own front stoop.
Okay.
So when he took her, she was alive.
All right, Jim Clemente, we will continue to follow this case until hopefully the mystery is solved for the sake of everybody involved, hopefully soon. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.